Welcome to the YU podcast.
Why you have what you need inside of you.
I'm Brandon Yarbrough.
And I'm Jamila Yarbrough.
We are filmmakers, producers, entrepreneurs, husband and wife, parents, and owners of Yarbrough Studios and the Yet Network.
Together, we have shepherded countless projects to completion and are committed to helping others bring their visions to life.
Along this journey, we have had many ups and downs, but one of the greatest lessons we've learned is what we needed was inside of us all along.
Join us as we uncover why you have what you need inside of you.
Hey everybody, welcome to the YU podcast by Yarbrough Studios,
where we discuss everything film, family, and fun, and why you have what it takes inside of you.
I'm Brandon Yarbrough.
And I'm Jamila Yarbrough.
Today, I want to talk about, or not just but
talk to us.
I want to talk about my film first. I want to talk about First, the project that you birthed from the heavens. The Lord downloaded into you and you brought to life. So how did it come to be? Tell us the history, Jamila.
The history.
So what is First for those that don't know?
So First is the first feature film through our production company.
Let's back it all the way up.
I will, but let me talk, please.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Dang. But so First is the first feature film through our production company. And it started many years ago as a web series that's on Issa's YouTube channel. And when I wrote it, I never intended it for it to be a series. I actually wrote it as a short film. And I wrote it because at the time there were no love stories being told on screen that at that time at all. We were so, and myself and many others were holding on to the love stories like Love Jones and Love and Basketball, but there was nothing being told at that time. And that was something that the role that I wrote was something that I wanted to play. And I wrote it more as an exercise to kind of get it out my system because I saw it playing in my head. And I wrote it it was a short film. It started as a short film that I wrote so fast that I was like, ooh, this got to be wrong. Like, it came too quickly. So I just did not think that it could actually be something worth shooting.
Yes.
And mind you, this was the second project that I had written.
And so what happened with the first project?
The first project was a short film that I wrote that I didn't plan on writing, but I wrote and we shot it in South Africa.
And it went where?
In Cape Town, and it went to Cannes.
So your first project that you ever wrote went to Cannes. Wow. Okay. And you were writing first and you thought you had to be wrong. Okay, keep going.
But I will say, even with that first project, it was a year of submitting to almost everything and only getting into a couple festivals. At that time, we got in Cannes. We had only gotten also into Pan-African. And so Cannes was like the last one we were submitting to. And so it was, to me, I felt like God was saying, keep going and trust this journey. You know, you never know, And the experience going there was incredible. And so, yes, I had written it, but it almost felt like a fluke. I don't want to say a fluke. I know that I don't want to, but I still wasn't considering myself a writer. I wrote it out of necessity because we had this great opportunity and it didn't work out for the person who we thought was going to write it. And so I had to write it for it to get done. And so when I got back, and I kept seeing this other story in my head, I finally wrote it down. And like I said, it was so fast. I was like, this has to be this can't be right. And so I hid it. And then finally, a director who is an incredible director, James Bland, he read it and he was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
We got to shoot it. And so we shot it. And over that time, Issa was had Awkward Black Girl, and it was doing well, and we had at that time also started these meeting. Like collab. It was just content creators that were meeting. There was a small group of us. We would meet at someone's house a couple times a year just to help each other to see what was going on, And Issa was there, and had been, we had been meeting with her, and we had this thing that we wanted to share with her.
Yeah.
So not with no intention necessarily of it being a series or anything. And so she saw it and she loved it and she wanted more. So okay, let's make it a series.
We gave you more.
And so 2 seasons,
Yep.
16 episodes later, it just became much more than I ever expected.
Yeah. What was production like? Season one, and yeah, let's talk about season one and then going into season two.
Yeah, I feel like I learned so much, about production. I had very limited experience before then. I had done a couple other projects, but we had a very small crew, bare bones crew, um, very small budget. As I was a teacher at that time, and sometimes, and at a nonprofit after school program teacher, sometimes I look back and like, how did that happen? How was I able to pay for this thing out of pocket and support myself, which is what happened. So it's really a testimony of moving in faith, and
Yeah.
and literally so many people that were just incredible um, came and collaborated in various ways, from um, being PAs on set to wardrobe to just different folks. There were really some amazing people along the way that supported the vision.
Mhm.
And but it was a very small team, and things happened very quickly because we committed to a date before anything was shot. And so it was
A release date?
a release date.
Oh wow.
We committed to a release date. We released something on Valentine's Day. I
Mhm.
think we said we were launching in April, May or something, but it was a very quick turnaround. So it's interesting as time went on. People would ask me if I had a writer's room and all this
Right.
stuff, but it was none of those
It
things.
was you and Jesus.
It was me and the
And
Lord.
and then the angels standing by. It was a writer's room
Yeah,
of
yeah.
holy hosts.
But it was an amazing, incredible experience, and it opened more doors than I could have imagined.
Mhm.
And I think the most beautiful part about it was just realizing that something that was important to me, seeing someone who looked like me,
Mhm.
being the leading lady, being in a love story, how so many people were hungry and craving for that same thing, and how it impacted them.
Yeah.
And there were so many comments of people saying they didn't believe that this love was possible for them, but how seeing someone who looked like them in that place helped to expand their hope and their vision.
Yes.
And so
So
um,
that was the audience reception.
it was incredible.
Wow.
It was really incredible, and I was, I was surprised. And so when we ended after the second season, the goal was to expand, bring it to a greater audience
Yes.
and get some financials
That's
backing.
all. That's always good.
Yeah, and so and when it didn't happen like I wanted it to, or expected it to, I realized God had another plan.
Yeah. Well,
And
before, what was that journey like? The In my notes, I got development HE double hockey sticks.
oh, he's so funny.
That's exactly what I wrote.
Yeah.
What was that? What was that journey like? For folks that are looking to either get into film or television and looking to get to the next level. Again, this is the why you podcast and why you have what it takes within you. At that point, you were seeking help from others to bring it to the next level.
Hmm.
What was that process like?
Yeah, so we So after we released the 2 seasons, we did get a lot of interest for it to move to another level, to
Mhm.
television. And, and we did enter into a development deal somewhere where it was optioned, and, it was I was, um it was a big step for me as a writer, to develop it into a series, and write the pilot. And one of the things though that was great, that I remember during that time, my agents were sending me on a lot of meetings,
Mhm.
and I met with someone at the time. I don't know if he's still there, but he was over TV development at Paramount, and he came from the indie space,
Yeah.
and he stressed to me how important it was to trust my voice, that I was there in the room with him and having these other meetings and this development deal because I was bringing something to the table that they didn't have.
Wow.
And it was such a blessing, even the timing of it, because I was in the process of getting notes and go and learning how to take notes and learning how to develop this pilot, and
Right.
also weigh these other just other notes and things in.
Mhm.
Um and the good student in me at times wanted to appease,
Right.
to fix it so that everybody's happy.
Yes.
And what he reminded me is that I had something very specific and unique. And especially when I know something doesn't work, and when I am sure about something, be confident in
That's
that,
right. That's right.
you
That's a
know,
good lesson.
that, and he kind of said, he was like, we get paid to have an opinion. So you need to trust what you are bringing
Mhm.
and stick to it. And it was so interesting because I implemented some of that, or, it gave me a little boost,
Right.
with some of the things that I thought I needed to change, and to see that, oh, okay, when I moved confidently in what I knew, um, there was no pushback.
That's right.
And I know that can play out in different ways, but um another person who really, really also encouraged me was Issa.
Mhm.
And I was working on a different project and developing for another production company. And they wanted a lot of changes made. And she read it and she said, mm-mm. Tell them that you know this audience and you know this voice. And I so respected and appreciated her being so clear on, no, be confident in what you have to say, and be confident in what you're bringing to the table, and don't, again, try to appease.
Right.
And so, there were times where there were a lot of challenges in trying to maintain the vision,
Mhm.
for those various projects, as well as um, wanting to get it right. So
Yeah.
part of that was, and make the best of this opportunity. But the greatest lessons that I learned from people that I'm very grateful for is, be confident in what you're bringing.
That's right.
And I think that's really important for our listeners, like the folks who are here, because when we talk about why you have something inside of you that nobody else has.
Mhm.
And I had to learn that.
That's right.
There's something that I have to give that nobody else has.
Mhm.
So I have to move in that confidence.
Mhm.
And I think it's important for those who are also listening to this or watching this to know that they also possess something that no one else has.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, that's amazing. We met in 2017.
Hmm.
And you were already in the midst, in the throes of development with uh, the network.
Hmm.
So 2017, we got married. 2018, 2019. I don't remember what we did in 2019. But then 2020 came, and throughout that whole time, it was almost like an up and down
Yes,
process
it was.
with the project, with first and taking it to the next level. At first it looked like it was gonna happen, and
Yeah.
then it didn't, and
Then
then
a
and
setback.
then you're like, okay, God, I put this down. I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
You know,
I put it down several times,
yeah.
and literally it was like, okay, I will pick it up when you tell me. And it will be like almost when I would put it down, then it would seem like another opportunity would come,
Hmm.
something that, like, okay, God, until I finally heard him say, "You have the grace to do this."
Right. So that was in what towards the end of 20 into going into 21 when we
Mm-hmm.
decided.
In the pandemic,
Right.
let's shoot a movie.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in
And
20
our,
in 20
yeah,
when Zuri was born, our daughter was born, we weren't shooting anything then,
right.
but you were already in talks with Issa and Denise and the team as making it a film,
Right.
and there was some movement on that end, but then with the pandemic, it kind of fizzled.
Mm-hmm.
And then God said, "Hey, do it
Yeah.
or else."
Yes.
And that's when, and that was towards the end of 20, maybe the beginning of 21, January, 21. We were like, okay, let's just do it.
Right.
Let's just do it
Right.
ourselves.
And we did self finance, and we also crowdfunded,
Hmm.
and there were people who have been rocking with us for years.
Yeah,
Praise God. Like literally blessed us by supporting it and sowing into the vision.
yeah,
And we were able to shoot
that's right.
in
So we
2021.
decided maybe in January, and then we said, okay, let's do it. And by March, right? Was it March or May?
It was May.
By May, we were shooting.
Yes.
We shot 21 days, and that was such a great experience. And we decided to
Mm-hmm.
co-direct a film. You brought me on to uh, labor in this vision with you,
Mm-hmm.
and it was such a, like I said, it was a great experience working with
It
you
was.
and bringing this thing to life and telling a complete story, not only one that the fans would enjoy, but something that our daughter would be proud of
Mm-hmm.
as well. And as we've been editing and viewing certain things, certain scenes, and watching the things, she loves it,
She
and
does.
she knows the words, she knows the dialogue,
Yeah.
and
I
then
mean, well, she doesn't
not
watch
not
Mommy
yeah, with Will.
with
With
Uncle
no
Will.
no
That's a little
that's weird. That for
but
her, it
right.
wasn't weird for me.
Right. And why? So tell me about tell me, not that, but, or you can include that too, but tell me how it was for you to come on board.
Hmm.
And because from my perspective, what you constantly showed me was support and
Yeah,
encouragement. Like,
right.
yes, you can do it. Yes, we got this. Let's go. It's done. Let's
Hmm.
get it. But I would love to hear even more about what that process and journey was like for you, um, in co-laboring.
Yeah, it was easy. I mean, going, like I said, we met in 2017, um, and then just leading up to, from dating and marriage, I've seen how much this is taking a toll,
Yes.
on you, and to be able to, take up the reins and how we did and do it together was really cool. So you didn't have to carry this load by yourself, the burden by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I think God places people together in order for us to share the burden.
Mm-hmm.
There are things that He has given you that I am to help with, and
Yeah.
and vice versa. There are
Yeah.
things to help. It's not to take it over and do it for you. It's just to help, whatever I can do to help. And you decided, hey, let's just co-direct this thing together. And in that, I helped carry that portion
Mm-hmm.
that portion of it, and editing.
Yes.
But it was a great experience to finally see, something that you've been holding on to for so long get done.
Mm-hmm.
That's really the most amazing thing.
Yes.
Now I don't have to. hear you cry about it, or like, not that I mean, you cried a few
I had
times,
some
but
moments. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, like, or see how it's affecting you. Now it's like, oh, what's
It's
next?
done.
That
Yeah.
thing is done. That weight is off. That burden is lifted.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's like once it's released, it'll be all the way off,
Yeah.
But perfectly by the time that this podcast is released, it will be released. Um, but yeah, no, that was actually my favorite thing. Just to, all right, let's just get this thing done and off of you, so that
Yeah.
you can move on and create other things. And since completing the film, you have done
And I
other.
was writing other stuff before because
Yeah.
I had set it down. Like I had many moments of sitting
Hmm.
it down. And during the time of sitting it down, I feel like other stories came that I was more excited about.
Yeah.
It just other things came in that period of sitting it down. But
Yeah.
what I will say is that when we started moving together, it no longer felt like a weight.
Yeah.
It actually became a joy to
Mhm.
come back to it. And at one point before that, it did feel like a weight,
Yeah.
that I didn't quite understand why it was so hard.
Mhm.
And but now I see all the lessons that I was learning, that God was taking me through in the journey, like
Mhm.
in the different places that it, in the different places that it was,
Right.
so many lessons, learned so much, but also um I think what I really truly value is um also just the grace to finish something,
Yeah.
because it doesn't mean that the road will be easy,
Right.
or
Hmm.
the that it won't be moments of pain and hardship, but when God is giving you a vision to see it through, and He will send the laborers. He sent you,
Yeah.
and I know what we're doing is so much bigger than
Mhm.
this. But when we did take it on together, it became a joy.
Yeah.
And I remember so many moments being like, man, it was so hard to get stuff done before, but
Right.
now it's so simple.
Mhm.
It was so simple, like us working together, even though it was in some way there was more work to be done. We had, you know, so much more to do, but there was something about it that was simple, and there was a joy in working together, and being able to share this with someone who
Yeah.
has um such a great work ethic and desire to serve. It honestly it's been a great experience, and
Yeah.
I'm glad it didn't work out before, so we could do it together
Right.
now.
Right.
And it's even sweeter to see our daughter and watch moments of it and have
Mhm.
so much the joy that
It's
she
so cool.
had.
And when the
It's
music
really
plays,
amazing.
she knows all the words.
It's really amazing.
Yeah, I want to talk about the production though, and how literally what we had. Anybody outside of us would say, "Yo, you don't have it all, to do what you need to do, financially."
Right.
This is just, yeah, you're not qualified financially, but God qualified us. It's
Mhm.
funny that the exact number, the money that we had was what we needed,
Yes.
to the literally to the dollar.
To the
Uh,
dollar.
um, and it was very interesting that the budget that was created before, said it would be more than what we actually
Mhm.
spent on it. We went into the film not having everything
Right.
already, you know, and but we knew that it was gonna get done, and
Mhm.
God, it got done.
Mhm.
It got done, and it was amazing how He worked everything out. And like you said, how easy it
It
was, and
was.
it was just such a joy to be on set every single day. There wasn't a day um, uh, that wasn't,
Mhm.
that wasn't fun. It's the set was, the crews are very collaborative. The set was collaborative. Um, you and Will killed it. All the other actors killed it.
Mhm.
Everybody was amazing, and it really shows on screen. Um,
Yeah, we were so blessed with such an amazing cast and
mhm.
crew. Like the excellence that everyone came in with, and then just the willingness to give what they gave
Yeah.
was just amazing,
Mhm.
and it was just it was, I keep saying a joy, but it really was. It was a
Mhm.
joy to finally be in the moment of shooting something that had taken so long to do, but not that we were just getting it done, it was getting done in
That's
excellence.
right.
And I think that was awesome.
What are some things that you would do the same, and what are some things that you would do differently?
Hmm. With production, or
Yeah, and it's just the whole process.
I mean, the journey led to this point, so, you know, I don't know that I would change anything
Mhm.
necessarily. Um, what I would do, I would love to do different. I would love to be able to sit and trust God and His timing of things.
Yeah, so that's real. Yeah.
Instead of wasted so much time being like, God, why is this happening?
Mhm.
Why is this happening? Now I know to trust Him, in this way, and have patience,
Yeah.
um, and His perfect timing. And I would hope I that's moving forward, something that I hope that I do,
Mhm.
um, is just trust Him more,
Yeah.
and um, yeah, trust Him
Mhm.
more.
That's good.
And even one of the things that, as you were talking about, with the film, how we basically we started shooting, we didn't have all the money yet,
Yeah.
and that's not something that we would necessarily tell everybody to do, but because God said go, we just went.
Right.
And I've been in so many now, with so many of different productions I've been a part of. At least some of the things that God has made me move in has been in ways where the all the resources weren't necessarily there. It
Mhm.
required faith.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the things that I think that I continue to see in this journey is the how faith is required
Mhm.
to move forward. You may not have all the answers. You may not have everything that you think you need, but you have to trust God
Yes.
and that He will meet you. If He says move, if He's giving you a vision, if He's giving you something that, if you feel in you that something that it has to get out, then you move forward in faith. And sometimes that movement is not the same for everybody, but I've found that when you start to move, He will meet you. He'll meet you with resources. He will meet you with people. He will meet you with different ways.
Mhm.
So faith is a big part of my journey, of our journey.
Yeah.
And I think is key for any visionary, anyone who has a vision or a dream.
Mhm. We have tips, and you just said it. That's so funny. Surround yourself with people who support your vision.
Mhm.
I have pray. I think pray is my tip for every episode we're gonna do. There's
Yeah.
a tip in there just to pray
Yes.
because only God. Um,
Amen.
and then have fun. Don't be so serious. Filmmaking is a luxury.
But I think a big part of that is trusting God's timing, trusting you, in order to enjoy the journey,
Yeah.
you have to trust that God is working, even He's working all things for your good.
Hmm.
Even the times that it seems delayed, it seems denied, it seems like you don't know how it's going to move
Yeah.
forward. learning to trust him helps you to
That's
be
it.
able to enjoy the journey.
That's true. That is true. Well, this has been good. This has been a good talk. You got anything else you want to share?
No, sir.
This has been a really, really good talk. I thank you for sharing, and I thank everyone for tuning in to the YU podcast by Yarbrough Studios. Follow us at Yarbrough Studios. You can follow me at Mr. Yarbrough.
And I'm at Jamila B. Yarbrough.
All right, and we thank you, and we'll see you.
See you soon,
Adios.
y'all.